Good morning, kids. Mr. Wyatt here for another episode of Socially Distant Sunday School. And today, we're going to keep talking about the book of James. And we're going to talk about James chapter 4. And if you remember, 2 weeks ago, James was talking about how we have choices that we make. We choose between human wisdom and God's wisdom. And in James chapter 4, James is still talking about the same problem, that there are things that humans want, and then there are things that God wants, and that as people who follow Jesus, we should be looking to live our lives like God would live our lives. In James chapter 4, he says that there is even a struggle, or a big word for it is a conflict, between what humans may want and what God wants. And in James chapter 4, verse 7, he says that we should submit ourselves to God, that we should choose to live like God would live, and we should resist evil. Now that sounds like a simple thing to do, but then whenever you think about it, how do we know what to do? How do we know how to choose to live a life like God would? So I wanted to share with you another Bible verse from the Old Testament that you can think of to remember what to do that is good. In the book of Micah, chapter 6, verse 8, the prophet Micah says that there are 3 things that we should think of whenever we have to make decisions, to know that we're living like God when we do them. The first thing he says is that we should seek justice. We should seek that everybody that we know and see in our world is treated fairly. If some people are treated like they are more important than other people are, then that's not just. And when things are unjust, it breaks God's heart. So when we make decisions, we should make decisions that treat everybody fairly, give everybody an equal chance, and give everybody the same grace and love that God gives to us all the time. The second is to show love and kindness. It's like the golden rule that many of you have heard at school or from your parents, that we should treat other people the way that we want to be treated. In fact, Jesus says that we should treat other people even better than we would want ourselves to be treated. And we should show people love and kindness in every decision. And the third decision that Micah says we should make is that we should always choose to listen to God first. That means that sometimes before we should make a decision, we should stop and pray about it. We should stop and think, what does God really want me to do? As Methodists here at a Methodist church, we believe that throughout our entire life, God is always walking with us through this life. God is always helping us get better and better so that we can live more like God would want us to live. So the more that we trust in God, the more that we look to make decisions like the prophet Micah tells us to do, to seek justice, to live a life of love and kindness, and to listen to God in all the decisions that we have to make, the more that we'll start to show other people just how God's love and grace can change our lives. So I hope that this week you'll look for ways that you can live out those 3 things that the prophet Micah tells us to do so that you can live a life more like God would live. I hope you all have a great week, and I can't wait to see you at the next Socially Distant Sunday School. Bye!